At the time, I brushed it off, but the unease stayed. Update number 2. A few days later, I walked into the kitchen and noticed a condom wrapper, the exact same brand Lena and I use. It was shoved behind a cereal box, not visible unless you looked closely. Caleb and Amela used the free ones from the campus clinic. Different brand, different packaging. Lena and I hadn't been intimate for weeks due to final stress, so it made no sense. I didn't go digging through the trash, but I did go to our room and check our stash. We buy in bulk, so I couldn't tell for sure if anything was missing. My first thought was that Caleb and Amela ran out and used one of ours without asking. That would have annoyed me, but at least it made some kind of sense. That night, I brought it up to Lena. Her eyes went wide. Then she reacted way too strongly. She said it was a violation of privacy and begged me not to make it into a thing. "Please don't talk to them about it unless it happens again," she said. That felt off. We've always been open with each other, especially about private stuff like this. But I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Lena comes from a small, conservative town and still gets awkward about sex-related topics sometimes. Update number 3. One of the guys from the apartment next door, Will, and I were chatting about football in the hallway. He casually said, "Man, one of the couples in your place is really into morning sex. These walls are thin." I laughed because Lena and I did get frisky in the morning sometimes, especially when the place was empty. But then I remembered, we hadn't done that in weeks. Not in the mornings, not even in the evenings lately. And Caleb and Amela, they'd been out of town visiting her parents the past few weekends. So who was left in the apartment? Lena and Caleb. I tried to brush it off, but it gnawed at me. I told myself I was being paranoid. The next day, after my first class, I said screw it and drove back to the apartment. When I pulled into the lot, Caleb's car was gone. Lena's was still there. I climbed the stairs with my heart pounding so hard it hurt. And just as I reached the front door, I heard them. A man's voice, talking, then laughing. Lena's voice, soft, giggly, flirty. I pressed my ear to the door, couldn't make out full sentences, but I heard her laugh and say, "Stop, that tickles." I couldn't take it anymore. I started fumbling for my keys. Sudden silence. I unlocked the door. There they were, Lena and Mark. Mark, the only guy from the neighboring apartment I've always hated. Arrogant, smug, constantly making off-color jokes to the girls. I never trusted him. They were sitting on the couch, completely frozen, faces like they'd seen a ghost. And just like that, I knew. All hope for an innocent explanation vanished. I didn't yell. I didn't cry, not yet. I just said, "Great, just been great." And I walked out. Lena called after me. I didn't turn around. I waited for her to follow. She didn't. I drove to a... I think my girlfriend cheated on me with my friend, and it's worse than I thought. I started suspecting something was going on between my girlfriend Lena and my friend Caleb. We all lived together in a shared apartment near our university in the Seattle suburbs. I'm 22. All 4 of us go to the same university. It's 2 couples living together. Lena originally moved in last year with her close friend Amela. They found this spacious, high-end apartment through someone they knew. It was supposed to be for 3 girls, but one dropped out last minute. They almost moved to a cheaper place, but they had already put so much effort into making this one feel like home that they decided to stay. When my lease ended in May, I moved in with them. I was already spending most nights there, so it made sense financially. Lena and Amela were on board. Not long before I moved in, Amela started dating my best friend Caleb. I was thrilled. Both couples, under one roof, hanging out with your partner and your best friend all at once? It felt perfect. Eventually, Caleb moved in too when his parents sold their house and relocated. The landlord didn't mind as long as the rent was paid, although officially, only Lena and Amela were on the lease, and everything was going great until the red flags started. Update number 1. It started one Monday morning. Amela and I had early classes, so we left before 8 a.m. Lena and Caleb had lectures later in the day, so they were still at home. This wasn't unusual. Sometimes they drove to campus around the same time, though always in separate cars. That day, I decided to surprise Lena. I waited outside her lecture hall, planning to take her out for lunch. I watched as students poured out. She wasn't among them. I texted, "Where are you?" She replied, "Just finished class, heading home to study." I tried calling, no answer. That was strange. She's the kind of person who's always glued to her phone. She didn't text again for hours. That was unlike her. Later that day, I bumped into Amala, and she casually mentioned that Caleb had stayed home sick, said he had a fever. I didn't think anything of it at the time. That evening, when I came home, Lena's car was parked in the guest spot. That's her usual place since we only had 3 parking passes. I asked her whether she had gone to class, and she hesitated, then admitted she skipped it because the professor was boring. Lena knows I hate when she skips. Her grades had already dropped before. Still, I didn't press. While I was washing dishes, she offhandedly said, "I probably won't do that again. Sitting at home alone is just